This is Business Inspires, the podcast of the Tri-Village Chamber Partnership. To run a successful business, you need resources, valuable connections, and community recognition. Business Inspires will provide you with the tools, resources, and examples to inspire you to create the business you're envisioning. This episode is brought to you by the Tri-Village Chamber Partnership. Our innovative and active chamber is successful because of our smart and engaged members who cultivate our strong business community.
Boost your business with LBB Edutainment. Our expert strategies and coaching empower leaders and teams to transform your workplace culture and inclusivity. Let's create a better world of work today. Begin at lbbedutainment.com.
Grandview Heights seamlessly combines timeless charm with a modern vision.
This is Yasmine Robles, the Chief Sparkle Strategist at Robles Designs. We specialize in creating drool-worthy websites, stunning brands, and innovative marketing strategies for entrepreneurs who are hell-bent on taking over the world. Get started today at roblesdesigns.com.
The city of Upper Arlington, where superior services and citizens come first.
Welcome to Business Inspires, where our goal is to inspire you to create the business you envision. I'm Brett Johnson, Tri-Village Chamber Partnership Board Member and the owner of Circle 270 Media Podcast Consultants. Thanks for following and subscribing to the podcast. With me is Katie Ellis, President and CEO of the Tri-Village Chamber Partnership and co-host of the podcast. Great to be here with you, Katie.
Great to be here too. And today we have our most wonderful guest, Yasmine Robles of Robles Designs. They do web design, graphic, and brand design. And Yasmine, one of the things that I most love about you is your sense of humor and the way you vibe with the wordsmithing, if that's a word. But I love that when you get up and introduce yourself, this is one of your famous quotes about Robles Designs, that you create drool-worthy websites for small businesses hell-bent on taking over the world. And you also describe yourself as the owner and lead digital nerd of Robles Designs. What else would you like to share about how you got started?
One of my other titles is officially the lead nagger at Robles Designs. I nag clients to get me stuff when my employees don't get it. So I have many titles. I got started as a solopreneur years and years ago. I think I created the first time I officially created a business was 2014. And then pivoted to naming it Robles Designs later on, left corporate around I want to say 2017, 2018, and haven't looked back really yet. There's been a lot of ups and downs in the business, but it's looking like we're growing. We're growing a team. I actually have people now that allow me to nag them and who enjoy also going out and getting tacos. So it's a pretty cool team, and I'm happy with where the business is going.
Well, let's talk a little bit. I want to expand on that ups and downs. So without necessarily getting specific talk a little bit about those ups and downs, how you got through those ups and downs. As an entrepreneur, we all go through them. And sometimes we just I cannot see the light of day at the end of this tunnel. Can you talk about a little bit how you got through them at least?
Yeah. So the business ups and downs, and it's funny how personal issues tend to interweave with business. Whenever there's been a hiccup in personal life, whether it's someone's health taking a turn, usually it's with our family, it's health related, but it's always those ups and downs that then affects the business, especially as a solopreneur. And so looking back if you just look at income for the business, every time there's a dip, it's usually something happened in my personal life. And then about 2 years ago, I would say about a year and a half ago, I was like, you know what, there's currently a down in the family dynamics. But I'm going to try to give it a go, give it just a final push and see if I can do this. Because at that moment I had a part-time junior designer who's still with us. She's full-time now. And she was managing a lot of the stuff, and the business was still growing without me in it as much as I used to be because of those personal issues. And I was like, this is a sign that I can make something out of this. So I pushed through a little bit and just started networking again, like like heck. And it
Mhm.
worked out a lot. And I also credit it to just, I'm not a salesperson. I create relationships with people and I get to know people around the community and in all the networking events. And my goal is to make friends because we all know that it's really hard to make friends when we get above a certain age. So I'm like, if I can just make friends, I'll call it a win. And that has actually helped spur the referrals and the sales that we've gotten. And now we've grown. And I've also started to delegate. I think one of the biggest, weirdly, one of the biggest things that has helped the growth of the business has been investing in people. And I'm so excited to say that I have, knock on wood, but I have one of the best teams. They put up with me. They are incredible. They, if they don't know something, they will go and figure it out and report back. So I've been blessed with this incredible team of people who can help push the business forward. It's, the delegation has been really helpful.
That's great. Yeah. And what you described, everybody goes through. You
Mm-hmm.
can't take personal out of business. You just can't. It's going to affect you somehow. It is, yeah. And I know Katie and I were both super lucky to get to work with you on two fronts, receive the benefits of your expertise. Oh my gosh. And because you give it so freely. I love that. But at the same time, you know where to stop. And then, and see how you care for people who reach out to pick your brain, as well as how you manage your team. Can you talk about how your values influence the way you run your business and work with your clients?
Yeah, so I would say, I don't know if it's really a values thing, but it's, when I was in corporate, it felt a lot of, at least it might have just been just my perception of it, but it was a lot more competition and you wanted to keep your job. So you had to do, you might keep things to yourself, or information was siloed. And depending on your role, you might not receive all of the information you wanted. And then as a business owner, I realized that people are really nice and they are, sometimes they need support and then they will try their hardest. If you give them support, whether it's a year from now, 5 years from now, they will send you a referral. They will in some way try to thank you for that. So just when you say that I give information freely, number one, it's to overwhelm you and that way you can hire us. But number two, it's
Love
going
it.
to come back to me in some way, right? So if someone needs to just chat with over coffee and talk about social media, that's totally fine. And eventually it'll just come back in some way, shape, or form. Just it's hard out there, and hopefully I can make it a little easier, especially for businesses that are starting up. Just giving them some of that information, whether it's through a workshop, a coffee chat, taco chat, whatever they want to, whatever they want to do. And then with current clients, it's really about education. So when I got started, it was a lot of, some people kept the information of what's going on behind the scenes of a website to themselves, and they would just present the final piece to the client. And I really want to educate the client to make the best decisions for their business. So I will break down the jargon and just, again, education, just keep giving them the information. If they want to continue with us, or that's great. If they feel like they can do it on their own after we educate them, that's great too. But I know that I did my part and that they're making the decisions based on knowledge and not fear.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that. And just to circle back a little bit about your networking prowess, you are everywhere. You really are.
Yeah.
You're out and about. And I think that looking back, you've probably introduced me to the most people and the people that I was able to make the most connections with to push things forward in a direction that's really beneficial for the chamber. So thank you for that. And I've just heard from a myriad of people that have met with you one-on-one that you've helped and supported, and just the things that you've said to inspire and encourage them to keep them going. And then also, again, just giving them like really wise and beneficial information that they have like something to go and do right then, whether they hire you or not. So thank you for that. And I think I learned when we were doing something together, we were in an event together, and you had said that when you hired your people that they don't have like any PTO. It's just like whatever, or how would you
Yeah,
describe it?
unlimited.
Unlimited PTO, I guess.
Yeah.
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 Can you just speak a little bit about like where your head was when you decided to do that?
Yeah. So number one with the events, you can get me to an event if there's food. So
The secret's out.
yeah, the secret's out. Like if you say it's a morning event at a specific time in the morning, I'm like, okay, so apparently there's going to be pastries or something, right? Bagels. But when it comes to my employees, I'm a small agency. I can't pay the big bucks that a large corporation can pay, but I can offset that with certain benefits. So for me, I'm also kind of lazy, so I don't want to be micromanaging someone and counting how many hours to the minute you took off, because it's not. I don't care as long as you get to work done. If I'm paying you a salary, just meet your goals, meet the deadlines, make it to a meeting. But if you're going to have off on a full day on a Friday because you finished all your work, that's great. I'm excited for you. You do not have to work the 40 hours. So when it came to the PTO, it's like, I don't want to be counting people's hours of how much time they took off. So I did the unlimited PTO. We're offering a health insurance because as a small business, I know how expensive, when I was a solopreneur, I knew how expensive it was to have your own insurance. And so helping them out with health insurance is important to me, and not just like health, but health, dental, vision, all the things, mental support. And then right now we're trying to figure out how to get retirement into that package as well. So retirement, just really from all the mistakes that I've made as when I was starting out in life, I'm like, okay, I really needed somebody to give me retirement. I needed this and this. So I'm trying to provide that. We're fully remote. So again, I don't care when you work. We're asynchronous. As long as you make it to meetings and our meeting deadlines, I don't care when you work, if it's midnight or if it's like 5 a.m., whenever you feel most creative and comfortable to get that work done, that's fine. And I do try to limit meetings to just Tuesdays through Thursdays especially for the team. I might take a meeting, but they're not obligated to take those meetings because again, it's really about making sure that they have benefits and that they feel excited and happy to work at Robles Designs.
Love that.
Yeah. So where do you get your inspiration? I mean, you are always energized. Always. I mean, I've never seen you down, and unless you're just really tired or something like that, but just you're always on. So I mean, where do you get your inspiration just to keep going?
To keep going or inspiration for design?
Well, both. Let's go with both because design is always something you have to have a muse. Yeah, that sort of thing. But let's look at both, because I think that makes a big difference in regards to, okay, where does this person get her creativity from? Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to design, it's a lot of different things. It can be, so I was trained as an industrial designer, and in industrial design, you really focus on the user, how they're holding a stapler, how they're sitting in a chair, how they use a door handle, right? So it's really the user and where you get your inspiration from. It could be the door handle is inspired by some kind of plant, right? And so you take your inspiration from everything that's around you in your environment, whether it's something three-dimensional or a flyer that you see posted. That's really, to me, a really great source of inspiration and growth in design. For strategy, just getting feedback from people. And when people say, oh, I went to this website, usually it's a government website. I went to this government website and I was really frustrated because I didn't know where things were. I like going and snooping on that site because then I can learn from other website mistakes and say, okay, well, if the user told me that it was hard for them to find certain information, how can I apply that to the websites that I'm building, that my team is building, and not make those same issues come up for users? When it comes to just how to keep going, my mortgage payment is always due.
Yeah.
But really if I'm going to make a go of this, it's really setting a good example for my team, setting a good example for my kids who one of them is homeschooled, and so they see me sitting down and working and taking breaks, and just really, other than the mortgage, just really being that example of I can do this, especially there's certain things in my childhood that happened and how I've been able to overcome those and and grow within the community, grow personally. That's always, I think, a driving force. I'm also kind of a perfectionist and keep setting the bar higher for myself. So I'm always measuring up to what I did last month, which is not healthy, but that's, I think, how I keep going as well. It's that inner competition.
And you just completed, well, not just, but a little while ago, did the Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
Was it an entrepreneur? I can't remember exactly who all is invited to that.
Yeah, it's a lot of entrepreneurs have been in there for at least 2 years. There's a certain income, and there's a couple of qualifiers. You go through an interview process, application process. It was great. I got this entire plan for the business for up to 5 years from now, how to get clients, how many clients I need, that sort of thing. And another way of thinking about business, and I actually understand my balance sheet now. So my accountant is really excited because she's been sending that stuff to me for months. And I never look at them. I'm just like, oh, there's money in the bank. But now I understand exactly what it is that's on every sheet and how to make business decisions based on that. So that was the coolest part. It was hard because it was in person for full Fridays every single week. Sometimes also during the week, they have homework. And that really pushed me to understand what skill sets my employees had and how incredible they are at. Sometimes I miss information and they go out there and get that information in order to complete the project. I was gone basically once a day. I was basically only working Monday through Thursday and trying to catch up on the weekends, and they were still able to make projects move forward. So it was a hard time, but I think it was a great time for me to understand that the importance of delegation and of having a solid team.
I love that. Just meandering through your website, you showcase a lot of diversity in the range of projects that you do. Do you have a favorite kind of project?
Oh,
I know the chamber, but besides the chamber.
Yes, of course, the chamber. Honestly, it's really about how I jive or how the team jives with the client. Those are our favorite projects. Can we go out and have some tacos, maybe tequila, but some tacos with you, and just kind of, if I can go out and have lunch with you and not feel awkward, usually that's a good sign that we're a good match. Obviously having the budget, but we have a range of packages that will fit your needs depending on if you're a startup and have a smaller budget, or if you need to take that website to the next level. In terms of I don't know, we work with lawyers, a lot of B2B, but right now we're working with a company that does seasonings, and they're a ton of fun because it's a product, and I accidentally on purpose will also take that product and use it in my own kitchen. And by me, I mean my husband, because I don't cook. But we've had coffee products as well, creating their e-commerce sites, and I love coffee. Coffee is what keeps me going, and tea, and so that I've loved those product-based businesses. But yeah, usually it's B2B. I love taking the boring, quote unquote, boring businesses like accountants and lawyers, and really making their websites unique without the Columbus skyline in there, because every single lawyer has a Columbus skyline, but really honing in on their brand and making them look unique so that they stand out among their competition.
So it's the taco test. You have to pass the taco test. With Yasmine. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. So how do you keep up with the constant change in tech? I mean, we all have websites. We all do. And how do you stay up with the latest and the greatest and temper that? Yeah.
It's starting to get harder now that I'm shifting more into that CEO owner role, and I'm out and about and doing things like this, like a podcast. But really, there's a couple of sites that I follow, newsletters that I get. I have Google alerts where if something new keyword pops up, it'll alert me to it. So that's how I stay up to date. But what really has helped is getting these employees. I keep talking about my team. I think I have a crush on my team, but they are
That's
they're in
awesome.
the weeds, right? So they will alert me when there's new trends, or when Izzy is creating social media and she's coming up with a strategy. She's like, actually, this is trending. And I'm like, is it? Okay, cool. Ariel will come up with new design ideas, getting inspiration from other places. And it's all coming together where, yes, I get to maybe go out and eat more food at networking events and show my face around more, that I have to do more cardio. But Izzy and Ariel and the rest of the team, Aaron, and Beth, really keep things going and really make sure that we are up to date, whether it's AI, a new design trend, new type or fonts that are coming out. They really help keep the business alive.
Love that. Also, going through your website, I love that you have like a favorites list, and something that we'll put in the show notes because I think it's really important is your top secret website starter checklist, giving out like all of the bomb information there. Just looking a little bit ahead for Robles Designs. Do you have, I know you did the Goldman Sachs like 5-year plan, but can you share with us like those dreams and aspirations that you have for the future?
Yeah, I originally, years and years ago, I wanted like this huge marketing agency, at least 20 people. I wanted to do everything in house. But right now, I see the value in partnerships, and whether it's partnering with photographers and videographers in order to really create a cohesive look and feel in the digital realm for clients. I love my team right now, the size that it is. I probably will be hiring a full-time web developer at some point. I love Aaron, who's our online business manager. And for in 5 years, I would still be remote. Likely still have the team, hopefully the team that I have, having hired some more. And for myself personally, just traveling around, that would be the bomb. Like just being able to be a digital nomad with the kids. Probably not in a van. That might be a little too small for right now, and not in my Mini Cooper. But maybe a taco. Let's keep with the theme of tacos. We'll do a taco tour, maybe of the states. That could be great. But really, we want to make sure that we have those recurring clients. So what we offer are one and done websites and branding and that sort of thing. But we also do offer, basically, we're a marketing department in your pocket. So we're trying to get more of those clients in, whether it's a smaller tier level or a large tier level, and ensuring that they don't have to worry about managing 5 different team members, and they know who their creative director is, which would be me. And that my team can handle a lot of the things that they need, so that they do feel like they are capable of growing the business. So really getting a couple of more of those clients would be ideal within the next 5 years. But I'm really excited about where the growth is going. It's kind of weird. It's like I keep setting goals and we keep exceeding them. And I'm like, how is this? Wait, am I a business owner now? Is this legit? I have to sign paychecks? Like, what is going on? And I never would have thought of this. Now, I was a nerd, and I loved being the editor of school newspaper in high school, and I did all the things that make sense now. Like this is why I love controlling people, not controlling people, but being a business owner. I love being a business owner and managing all these different facets. And I never thought of that in high school, right? I thought I was going to be an industrial designer or graphic designer working under someone. And now I'm like, oh my God, I get to maneuver this ship, however small it is, and just kind of take us to the next phase of growth.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, unbeknownst to many people at the chamber, we've had a movie production company come to us and ask, "Hey, we want to make a movie about somebody," and we said, "It's got to be Yasmine." So they're asking us, what actor should play your part in that movie about your life?
Yeah, I would say right now my idol is America Ferrera. Whether
Okay.
it's
Yes,
I think
that's a
that's
good
her
pick.
from Superstore, but from the Barbie
Mhm.
movie, the monologue that made me like just bawl and like just cry while my 10-year-old is staring at me, asking me why. And I'm like, but it's all true.
My lived
I would love,
experience.
right? Yeah. Not only does she have like, I love her on-screen presence, but
Mhm.
she looks like a real woman. Like she
Yeah.
looks like she could be a friend. Maybe we could go out for tacos. If she hears this, I would totally, my treat, I will go out for tacos.
We'll tag her in social, see what happens.
Definitely. Yeah, you never know. But yeah, I think that she just has this feeling of she's a real person, but she's also like this, she's got goals and dreams and she's got a personality, but she seems like she's down to earth. Like she totally digs some tacos.
I think that's a perfect fit. Perfect. Yeah. Why not match the life on screen as behind the screen too? Exactly.
She can probably also make me sound smarter. That'd be great. Which is why I love ChatGPT. ChatGPT, man. It makes me sound like I know what I'm doing.
Listen to you.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Of course, we'll put all of the ways to get a hold of you and follow you into the show notes. And any final last words of advice or wisdom?
Well, so I'm really into crime podcasts. So remember that no body, no crime, and always ask for a lawyer, no matter what, even if you're innocent. In terms of design, you can always find me on our website, roblesdesigns.com. If you just want to chat over coffee and have questions about marketing or need someone to help you decipher jargon, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help. You can message us on there or on Instagram or any of the other social platforms that we're on.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. And I know that we'll do with the chamber, we're working on a marketing workshop that people can attend. So everyone look out for that.
Exactly. Listeners, thank you for joining us. And don't forget to check out our podcast page on the Tri-Village Chamber website. I'm assuming this episode probably will be front and center because Yasmine controls that. So, you'll be prepared for that. Look for the podcast tab at the top of the homepage and tell us what you think about this or any of our episodes at info@chamberpartnership.org. Welcome to...
Did you know sponsoring a Tri-Village Chamber event not only builds brand awareness, but expands your network? Our chamber unites hundreds of businesses and individuals through meaningful relationships, educational programming, exclusive resources, and awesome events. Sponsorship supports our efforts to build and strengthen the community. To find out which opportunities are best for you, contact me directly at Katie, Katie, @chamberpartnership.org. Thanks for partnering with us.
Thanks for listening to Business Inspires. Check out the podcast show notes for information about this podcast, to schedule a guest appearance, or to find out more about sponsoring this podcast.